Good day, friends. According to preliminary reports, on March 25, during the fire in the Winter Cherry Shopping Center in Kemerovo, at least 40 children were killed. In Russian history, there have been few disasters with such a large number of young victims. From more recent events, one can recall only the Beslan school siege. In Soviet history, there was another fire in which more than 100 children died, a tragedy that, until the 1990s, was known only to the victims' families and neighbors. A small wooden school appeared in the Chuvashia village of Elbarusovo in 1914. It had been built by local entrepreneurs who ran a sawmill. The building had 2 classrooms separated by a partition that was sometimes removed for large gatherings. This is what they did on November 5, 1961, when the school hosted a concert dedicated to another anniversary of the October Revolution. Desks were pushed to the windows and stacked on top of each other. The hall was overcrowded. About 200 pupils from grades 1 to 6 and several teachers were inside. Children came not only from Elbarusovo but also from neighboring villages. While a group of boys on stage performed a sailor's dance, the physics teacher and some older students were starting up an electric generator in an adjacent room. It was cold, so they also lit the stove in the same room, likely a potbelly stove. The firewood was damp, so the teacher decided to add some gasoline to get it burning. But he poured far more than needed. Flames erupted instantly, and the startled teacher stumbled over some canisters. Gasoline spilled from them. The fire quickly spread to the desks and the floor. Almost immediately, the assembly hall where the concert was being held caught fire. The teacher himself escaped by jumping out of a window. Thick smoke instantly filled the hall. Visibility was zero, and breathing was impossible. The walls and ceiling were ablaze. The crowd rushed toward the 2 windows. The emergency exit was locked and blocked by boxes. The windows opened inward and were obstructed by the desks stacked earlier to make room for the event. Only 2 windows near the stage were open. Many children began suffocating and losing consciousness. A local man, Vladimir Andreev, who lived about 100 meters away, later recalled hearing loud cracking noises, like explosions. The entire school was engulfed in flames. Our first task, on the orders of the administration, was to save the school archives, he recalled. Then I heard women screaming, "The children are burning." Together with other men, Andreev entered the building, crawling to reach the hall, but they had to retreat. The flames blocked their path. Soon, the school's roof collapsed. Firefighters arrived to find only the charred remains. Andreev helped carry the burned children outside, lining their bodies up on the school sports field. The next morning, among the dead, he found his own sister. Local authorities decided to bury the victims in a mass grave the day after the fire. Coffins were brought from Chuvashia. A long trench was dug. Police cordoned off the cemetery, preventing many locals from entering. Only close relatives were allowed in. Chuvashia historian, teacher, and local scholar Polina Ivanova recalled that the authorities were in a hurry because of the upcoming November 7th holiday. The children's coffins were placed in 2 rows. Under the light of car headlights, a bulldozer covered the massive grave. Each time it reversed, sobbing mothers would rush forward, driving wooden stakes into the earth to mark where their child lay. Some of the injured were sent to hospitals in Chuvashia. The most seriously burned were airlifted to Moscow. The school principal and the physics teacher responsible for spilling the gasoline were sentenced to 8 and 10 years in prison, respectively, and expelled from the Communist Party for criminal negligence. Upon release, neither returned to the village, fearing mob justice. About a year after the fire, a new brick school was opened in Elbarusovo. Residents noticed that the main entrance was very narrow and led directly to a staircase to the 2nd floor, meaning that if such an event happened again, a stampede would be inevitable. The school still occupies that building today. Most Soviet citizens knew nothing about the death of over 100 children in Chuvashia until the early 1990s. The first public memorial service for them was held only in 1991. In 1994, a monument to the fire victims was unveiled, a sculpture of a child engulfed in flames, with swifts flying overhead. Every year on November 5th, school children read aloud the names of the victims by the monument. The school's website now hosts a memorial page titled, "A Black Page in the School's History." It contains the full list of victims, their photographs, and the recollections of survivors and eyewitnesses. Thank you all for watching. If you found this story interesting, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and give the video a like.